was made at a ministerial meeting on adaptation.
Every fiber of society across the world is already reeling from the impact of climate change. It has triggered droughts, floods, melting glaciers, heat wave, diseases, food insecurity, and migration, with the world said to be at crossroads. The Chief Executive of Global Center on Adaptation, Mr. Patrick Foucault, said Glasgow is the final platform to repair the climate injustice created.
The impacts of climate change are at our doorstep today. Thousands of lives are lost today and millions are impacted today. We have heard ministers here on stage and all the panels before. Finance flows and adaptations are not sufficient yet, but we are increasing our ambition in that regard.
Former UN Secretary General Mr. Ban Ki-moon said the world must act with a sense of urgency and move from climate vulnerability to climate prosperity. The president of the Africa Development Bank, Mr. Akiwumi Adesina, said Africa could lose $50 billion to climate change by 2040 from the current $7 billion to $15 billion. With this, the bank is doubling its climate financing for Africa to $25 billion.
The African Development Bank and the Global Center for Adaptation launched the African Adaptation Acceleration Program. Our goal is to raise $25 billion for adaptation. It's the largest, the boldest, and the most transformative climate adaptation ever put forward for Africa.
The Chief Executive of the Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Henry Kukufu, said major emitting countries must rethink the emissions policies for a safer planet.
Because we are already living inside a worsening climate emergency, ambition raising must now encompass adaptation as a major priority. We have a battle on two fronts, and we need to constantly and also accelerate adaptation action to keep us safe.
The ministerial meeting on adaptation seeks to create a climate-resilient environment with innovative programs to protect the people, economies, and ecosystems.